day, and I've got to say, it was extremely rewarding on so many levels, right? Firstly, all of you, what can I say? Like, without you, we would not have gotten onto all of these radio stations, onto all of these news channels, cities, social media pages. Gosh, I'm tired. Connected with our international brothers and sisters, striked at airports, handed out flyers. You know, for a first strike, I believe we striked hard, right? And massive gratitude to the posse here, to the guys. I mean, let's just put it this way. David Sink's in the house. 2 drivers that are, one of the drivers is in this picture, the ones to the side, but together they have 52,000 trips, right? 52,000 trips. 2 guys, they showed me 4.9 something rated drivers. Been doing this for years. 2 guys together, no kidding, 52,000 trips, right? And they took the day off, right? Because, why did they take the day off? Because they stood for something, right? And I want to get this straight. I sent a very clear message. And a lot of people said, I got to go out, I got to work, I got to make the car rent, I'm behind the bills. And I had always had the same answer. I support you. I totally understand if you need to go and work today, right? Because you have a reason to work. You might be behind on your bills. You haven't made your Hertz car payment yet, right? And absolutely, I'll be the last person to stop you. But the people that could make a difference, the people, you know, that were willing to get into the trenches, to switch off the apps and cost these companies millions and millions and millions of dollars. My friends, I don't know if you know what value, what worth when you get into the New York Times, right? When you make it on ABC, Univision, yesterday, all day long, conducting reports, Zoom calls with reporters, TV stations, radio stations, all day long, right? Working into the night, live feed, coming back today, going to KTLA, going to Univision, getting the word out, and then having these awesome fighters with you, right, in your trenches. Like, you know, these are the soldiers I go to war with. And there was another YouTuber, and dude, I'm sorry, but I cannot, I just simply cannot take, where's the guy? I cannot take this type of drama, right? This guy here, right here, professor, will not tell me what to do. And, you know, you're out there with your green hat, drinking a beer, which is not even a Guinness, by the way. This is what they drink at the Oktoberfest. This is called the Hefeweizen. It's not what you drink on, it's a dark beer, just to educate you on what type of beer is associated with St. Patrick's Day. But then to attack me in a video, because he's obviously all giddy and horny for a couple of subscribers, hoping he can trash me. You can't trash me, right? Because I'm not a pretty please guy. I don't run around and say, pretty please, will you change this? Pretty please, will you, change the app? Pretty please, will you introduce photos? Pretty please, will you stop, I mean, the amount of pretty pleases, like you're a slick and great talker, my friend. You're very good, right? And I honestly, and here's the compliment to you, you would have 200,000 subscribers if you had an edge, right? If you had an edge and if you actually were original, if you stood for something, because he's so good with his words. But to go out and trash a fellow rideshare driver who is out there hustling for the drivers, who's driving here, driving there, camera here, reporter there. If you do not stand up and use your God-given voice, because you have a voice, right? You have an amazing voice, and he's so articulated. I don't even come close to the way this young guy articulates himself. I mean, that's a huge compliment, right? But you go out there and you call yourself the Money Advisor channel or something, right? And you're not showing me any substance. And you say that you're a logical thinker. I've been there, done that, I can tell you that. Built businesses, sold businesses, have my homes, have my cars, have my, my toys, and I worked fucking hard for it, right? And the one thing I learned along the way is as you navigate through the business world, the pretty please doesn't cut it, right? In this world, action speak louder than words, right? I cannot go to Darren and say, pretty please, will you add a picture, for the writers, or pretty please, will you write, or pretty please, would you stand up for Christina, right? So that people don't get shot. No, you gotta go and hold up the mirror to these companies, to these CEOs, right? You got to be vocal. You got to be, like this group of people. You got to get out there. Pancho here, we set up an interview. He was phenomenal with in Spanish in front of Univision. We connected with, that whole audience, right? This guy rallied and got most of Australia on board, right? Is concentrating on Australia, and everybody had their mission, and everybody was doing. There was nobody talking. They were all working and fighting for your cause, because the one thing I do want to see, and the one thing I'm extremely proud of all, at least my followers, I know that my followers are hardcore stand-up people with amazing suggestions, amazing ideas, and they fight for a cause. And I will fault no one who had to go out and drive today. And I hate the fact that this guy here twists the word in my mouth, that I pretty much was threatening the people that would not strike today. No, if you listen to my videos, I said, if you need to work, you need to work. But if you can stand with the people and you can fight for change, don't come with your pretty pleases and your drama, dude. It's not going to cut the cake. It's not going to bring in the money. And I ask you kindly, like you call yourself like the money channel. People generally speak about money when they've made money, right? When they can show people, hey, I have a proven track record and I've made money. But I don't want to spend more energy there, because the bigger picture was so much more exciting. This guy here came through for us. Remember yesterday's live feed, you guys called and said, please, New York Times, come through for us. Who do you think he listened to? He was listening to you in the stream. He was in the live stream. I showed you the proof, right? We had the reporter from the New York Times. And guess what? He was up all night to bring us an article in the New York Times, right? And I'm going to leave it there. You got to read it there. It says, when Adam Potash started driving for Lyft, there he is, Kellen Browning. Remember him yesterday, right? Remember him in the feed when we were all appealing to the New York Times and said, Kellen, come through for us. Well, you know what? Kellen is a guy that I want in the trenches with me, Kellen Browning, because he was up all night and he delivered an article in the New York Times. You know how much weight that has? That has way more weight than a little thumbnail holding a beer. And what type of a what type of a mixed marketing message is this, dude? You're holding and drinking a beer, and you're encouraging the people to go out and drive. You say, well, I'm going to go out and drive on St. Patrick's Day. But yet you're drinking a beer, and it's not even a Guinness beer. I don't understand your marketing. It makes zero sense to me. But okay. So Kellen Browning is someone I call a soldier. Like he's like a general, right? He's a guy we can rely on. He goes out there and tells our story, right? And what is our story? what was our story in the last few weeks and the last 2 days, right? We headed really hard in the last 2 days. Our story in the last 2 days was articulated pretty well, right? There's three things we deserve. These three things we stood up for, right? We actually stood up for Christina, the mother that got shot, right? And all of those that had fallen, carjacked, assaulted, murdered. We stood up for them, right? We gave them some meaning at least today. We told their families we cared for these people, right? And I'm so proud of the people that striked and protested with me today in LA by LAX, holding up that banner, because it really touched the soul of that reporter when one of the guys started talking about Christina. This is why we're here today, right? We're fighting for the Christinas, the fathers, their sons that have died behind the wheel, their daughters that have died behind the wheel. And if we can get the message, because there's nothing, my friends, there is nothing that CEOs with these mega big egos, there's nothing that they hate more is when you expose them in the New York Times, right? And prick their ego. That's what we did, right? That's what we did on ABC. That's what we did on KTLA. That's what we did on Univision. That's what we did in the Phoenix newspapers in the Korea. That's what we did in the Florida TV stations, the Arizona TV stations, the California TV stations, the radio stations around the nation, people reporting from Toronto, from Australia, that the stories were running there. That's what we achieved. We achieved the ability to shame these CEOs, even if it was just for a day, and say, hey, there's three things that matter, right? What matters here is that you, Gina, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you so much. What matters is that you stand up for safety and bring change, real change, right? And we don't go out and say, pretty please, bring the change. Do this, pretty please, do this, pretty please. No, we went out there and used the tools and the weaponry and the missiles and the bullets that these CEOs hate most, namely the reporters, the TVs, and the media. And we stood them up and we pricked their ego and we said, no, you listen to us. And an article in the New York Times reaches a lot of people, right? There's millions of people in New York, right? So you know right there and then you have connected with the public if you've got the story into the New York Times, right? So this is how I like to operate and roll. This is how I market and use the press releases and the contacts and calling the contacts and getting on the phones. Hey, are you interested in the story? Can you back us up? Can you send a TV crew? This is how I roll, right? I don't go out there and ask the fucking pretty please change the system. No, I have an army of 50,000 people that have incredible energy, incredible ideas, incredible suggestions, and they go out there and turn them into action. And I'm talking about you, right? So, secondly, gas. Like, listen, if I just by saying that three-letter word gas, it sends shivers down your spine, because you know either tomorrow, and in fact, tomorrow I got to go early in the morning and fill up again, and I feel the pain, right? Gas is a real thing. Gas affects products. Gas affects services. Gas affects the trucking. Gas drives all the prices up. Gas brings our numbers down, because that is one of our biggest costs, right? And we got to fight for gas. I don't say, hey, Dara, pretty please, can you consider upping your 55 cents? No, we go to the media, we tell the stories, and we say, and by the way, I'm going to read his article. It's phenomenal, right? He talks about the 55 cents. We shame them and say, really? Dear public, this is what they want to pay us? 55 cents? Dara, is that what your driver is worth in a surcharge? 55 cents or 45 cents? Some people have reported 35 cents. Pathetico, as Pancho would say. Pathetico, right? Pathetic. A joke, right? Number 3, earnings. What has happened to our earnings, right? Well, you come out and say, oh, for the first time ever, we've made a profit, right? A profit, like sort of an artificial profit. How did you do that, Daryl Khosrowshahi, John Zimmer, Logan Green? How did you do that? Well, you increased your rider fares through the roof and you cut from the driver. And you still expect us to go out 24/7 and bring and haul in the cash so that you can pay your salaries, right? So these three issues, ladies and gentlemen, safety, gas prices, and earnings, it sums it all up. And when you get people like Kellen Browning and other reporters, right, or the lady from Arizona who just went beyond for us, right? She went beyond for us. When you get those type of reporters that say, you know what, I hear you, I understand your pain, and I'm going to articulate that because that's his profession, right? He knows how to write. He's a journalist, he's a reporter. He reports what happens on the street. And these are the type of foot soldiers that I have nothing but gratitude for. You know why? Because they change the system. They put the spotlight on these CEOs and say, you know what? You're not doing enough, right? So when Adam Potash started driving for Lyft 6 months ago to help make ends meet, he was happy with the pay. The business was far from lucrative, but he was making about $200 a day before paying for costs like gas and maintenance. A real story that everyone can relate to, right? But as gas prices have risen in recent weeks, Mr. Potash has barely been breaking even. And we understand exactly what this guy is talking about. To compensate, he has focused on driving during peak customer hours and tried to fill up at cheaper gas stations in the area around San Francisco where he works. He has also reduced his driving time from about 45 hours each week to roughly 20 hours. It hurts. I don't have the money coming in, Mr. Potash 48 said of his reduced hours, but I'm not willing to operate at a loss. Let me repeat that line. But I am not willing to operate at a loss, right? Talking about real money issues, right? So gig workers who drive for ride-hailing and delivery companies like Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash have been hit hard by rising gas prices because their ability to earn money is tied directly to driving hundreds of miles each week. And because the drivers are contract workers, the companies do not reimburse them for the cost of fueling up. Some drivers say that they've had enough and that the added cost of gas is making an already difficult financial equation untenable. The national average price of a gallon of gas peaked at a record $4.33 last week. $5.89 over here in California, right? Shout out what your gas price is, please. According to AAA in California, where Mr. Potash lives, gas is now average $5.77 a gallon. High gas prices, Zura's in the house, high gas prices are the final nail in the coffin, said Harry Campbell. Harry is a dear rideshare friend. I consider him a very, very, very loyal and good rideshare buddy, right? High gas prices are the final nail in the coffin, says Harry Campbell, who writes a blog called The Rideshare Guy, which if you don't subscribe to it right now, and produces a podcast aimed at helping ride-hailing drivers. Rising gas prices make a tough situation even tougher. And for a lot of drivers, it's sort of the final straw that pushes them over the edge. Very well articulated, hits the nail on the head. Flo Kunle, love you, my brother. Happy Strike Day. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, man. You're amazing. Much love. Much love to the fam, Flo. Thank you, my friend. We had a good day, Flo. We worked hard. In a survey last week of 325 drivers who follow his content, Mr. Campbell found, please subscribe to Flo Kunle. He has a phenomenal YouTube channel. You'll see him in the feed right there now. Some drivers So in a survey last week of 325 drivers who follow his content, and Harry Campbell has the best surveys, found that 38% were driving less because of high gas prices and 15% had quit driving altogether. Some drivers around the country staged a boycott. Here we go. Thank you. This is you. Some drivers around the country staged a boycott of ride-hailing apps on Thursday, though it was very difficult to say for certain how many participated. One media guy, I don't know how they calculated, said maybe about 40 to 60,000 people participated, and explained to me how he got to the numbers. But anyway, that's a start, right? It's a good start. But more than that, how many millions of people did we reach through the media? That's more important here, right? So, and because maybe 40 to 60,000 drivers worldwide striked, we got all the media attention, including the New York Times, everything we needed, right? To reach another million public people. So some drivers around the country staged a boycott of ride-hailing apps on Thursday, though it was very difficult to say for certain how many participated. The effort, initially organized to raise awareness about driver safety, gave way to an outpouring of frustration about high gas prices were making a tough business even tougher. We started organizing months ago about the poor safety, and when gas prices went through the roof, many drivers said we need to stand up and make the companies get involved in both, said Torsten Kunert, that would be me, who gives advice to drivers on his YouTube channel, Rideshare Professor. So he came through for us, my brothers and sisters. He was in our feed. He was listening to you, and he put it out. He wrote all night and published it in time for St. Patrick's Day. If I could hear a big thank you to, give a shout out, a big thank you to Kellen Browning in the house for coming through for drivers, right? For coming through, working through the night, and then pushing this out on the day that it mattered most. Fantastic, right? So, it continues. Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash say overall driver numbers are not down. Uber said it had more active drivers now than it did in January. Both Uber and Lyft added small fees to the price of rides in most places for the next 2 months. A change they say will help compensate drivers. I say BS. We know drivers and couriers are feeling the sting of record high prices at the pump. Lisa Winship, Uber's head of driver operations. Lisa, let me do this. Lisa Winship, Uber's head of driver operations in the United States and Canada. Lisa, allow me to pull your head, which is stuck in your own asshole. Allow me to wipe the shit out of your eyes so you can see reality, right? Because your little statement here does not add up for drivers, right? She says, we know drivers and couriers are feeling the sting of record high prices at the pump, right? Announcing the gas surcharge. Lyft echoed the sentiment in a blog post on Monday. Oh, you echoed the sentiment, right? DoorDash announced the gas rewards program on Tuesday. Those who use the prepaid debit card designed for DoorDash workers will get 10% cash back at gas stations, the company said. And DoorDash is adding bonus payments depending on miles driven. DoorDash is probably doing the most here, right? So for once, Tony Zhu is actually stepping up, right? After stealing Peter Driver's tips, and he got caught with his pants down, right? Grubhub also said it would boost driver pay. Both Uber and Lyft say drivers have been making more money since lockdowns lifted than they did earlier in the pandemic or even pre-pandemic, even when accounting for rising gas prices. And both companies are promoting a partnership with an app called GetUpside that offers some cashback rewards for getting gas. I have no voice, my friends, but I'm going to try and rally here and and get this done, right? Let's see. And Gridwise, an app that helps drivers track their earnings and tallies data, found that drivers' earnings had risen nationally in recent months from an average of $308 per week in early January to $426 in early March, right? But gas costs for ride-hailing drivers have also gone up from $31 per transaction to nearly 39. Debbie's in the house, quadruple 1PY's in the house, Philip Merriweather's in the house. Shout out to all of you. Say your name and where you're from. I want to give everyone a shout out. Slick Nick was with us today. He stood there with us. Slick Nick is one of the people in the welcome. Slick Nick. Who else is there? Say your name, where you're from. Big Red Bone from Lexington. Shout out Lexington, Kentucky. Chris M from the LBC, Long Beach City, baby. Esmeralda stayed at home all day. Keystone, Philadelphia. Keystone's in the house. Love the guy. Juan says, I didn't drive either. Portia from Houston. Nice to meet you. Dallas, Texas. Tank in the house. Gypsy Lady. Denver, Colorado. DJ Insane, Virginia. Esmeralda, DC. Big Redbone, Kentucky. Anuj is from, I'm trying to keep up with you guys. New York City. Juan Hernandez, California. Downey, M. Sawyer, Cincinnati, Ohio. Wilbert Baltodano, Costa Rica, baby. DJ Insane, Richmond, Virginia. Pauline from Cincinnati, Ohio. Gina Weiss, I Strike, quadruple 1PY, Paris, San Diego. Zura, New York City. Joan, Florida. Joan in the house. Bern, Arizona. James, Columbus, Ohio. Phil, Merriweather, Indianapolis. Erin Buzzetti. Love from Broward County. Angel from New Jersey. Manca Travel, TYS. Jose Reyes, Jose Virginia. Tampa, Florida. JC, Classy Bro. Alicia Martinez, LA, baby. Lee Plain, Joao in Alabama. Nifty 50, Chicago. Mr. Wax, Flex. Melbourne, Australia. Carlito. Mark Baines, Charlotte, Strike Strong. Eddie G, San Diego, California. Toronto, Canada, Football News. Mr. Wax, Minneapolis. Omar, Spokane, Washington. James Martin, Dallas, Texas. Dylan Gannon, Sonoma. Stanley, Jax, George, Las Vegas. George Beish. Johnny Walker, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Dane Perkins, Virginia. Mahalo from Hawaii. Todd Cizaldi. Angelo Clark from Knoxville, Tennessee. Woo! We have them all, baby. Everyone's in the house. Everyone's in the house. I love it. All the corners of the USA. We got Australia. We have Canada. Cheers, my friends. Thank you. I'm even tearing up. I cannot say thank you enough for how hard you fought. I'm exhausted, but I know you guys carried me through this and you stood up. Big Red Bone, thank you. Throwing down $9.99. Thank you for standing up for something, right? For something that's worthwhile, for all those deceased and killed people. Thank you for standing up for them, my friends, and having a backbone, a spine, instead of like the pretty pleasers. The pretty pleasers don't get us anywhere in this world, my friend. We shamed them today. We pricked their egos today. We showed them what is important. And again, all of us give a huge shout out to all the reporters, all the media, all the cameramen, all the interviewers, all the disc jockeys, all the radio stations that resonated, carried our voice further. Amen. Amen. God bless you all. Uber and Lyft say entirety of the new Gypsy Lady slaps down $9.99. I love it. Thank you. And we are, Erin Bazzetti. I love it. See, family. We are family. That's what we are. This is my extended family. I have a family here, 5 kids and a beautiful wife, but I also have a gig family that I dearly, dearly care for, right? And to get trashed by some newbie YouTube beginner, I shouldn't even give him a shout out, man. Listen, what the fuck do you think we're fighting for, right? We don't say pretty please, right? We don't inject drama. We get the shit done. We don't talk. We take action. That's what these people in this channel are about, right? So Uber and Lyft say entirety of their new gas fees, 35 to 55 cents per trip for Uber and 55 cents for Lyft, will go to the drivers. Oh, hallelujah. That's a lot of money, Mr. Darakoshishawi. I am getting so fucking excited about this 55 cents. You have no idea. I cannot even hold myself back. I'm so damn excited about that 55 cents, right? Pathetico, as Pancho would say. We'll go to the drivers. But some drivers say the action is inadequate. Gas prices on average have increased 49% in the past year, according to AAA, right? Who's this gentleman here? He is Philip Jean, a Lyft and Uber driver in Pennsylvania, has cut back on insurance because of gas prices. Shout out to Philip Jean. Give him a huge shout out, because he understands the pain at the pump and the earnings which are cut. And what is he doing? He's shopping around for better insurance, right? That's our man right there. That's our man, right? Improvising, being smart, right? Working around these hurdles instead of like, oh, pretty please, pretty please, pretty please. That literally insulted every driver. Amen. The common theme today, my friends, the common theme, right? We're talking about it. The common theme, right? Truly amazing here what the common theme is. Like Pancho said, this year, I got $1.87 includes the expected tip, right? What do you think we were fighting for? We were fighting for being insulted like this. What is this, my friends? A whopping $1.87? That's what you're going to pay us, right? And by the way, this includes the expected tip. These were the things that we were talking about with the media today, right? They are embarrassing themselves with these type of offers. $1.87 includes expected tip. Roll that $1.87 and shove it up your ass, Dara Koshashawi, because $1.87 doesn't even factor in the gas. Does not even factor in the gas. Absolutely pathetic, right? And again, all I can say is these were the diehards. We sat around for hours, we talked, we laughed, you make friends. I wish there were a couple of ladies that showed up. No, it was all guys. James is in the house, right? And we were comparing stories. We were, that's what you do as righteous. Or you share your stories, real stories, right? Real stories. And come on, two of the drivers at 52,000 showed me. 52,000 trips, right? The one gentleman, Francisco, who's not in the picture. Where's Francisco? I want to honor Francisco because that guy is just amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you about Francisco, right? Francisco, the guy here in the back. That guy there, the little guy in the back, right? Like 32,000 and 25,000 trips. 459,000 miles on his Nissan Versa. You want me to say it again? Right? 459,000 miles on his Nissan Versa. Right? And for anyone that does not believe me when I say that, proof again is in the pudding. Right? Let me share with you. $31,434 trips. One of the diehards that was sitting with us today. 34,000 trips. Rating 4.96. Legend, right? Legend. Those are the stories I can count on. There's one I want to show you. Anyway, I thought it was just crazy impressive. 459,000 miles on his car. That's just nuts, dude. Absolutely nuts. I got it. The 602, I can't even say this. Is so funny, this text. Thank you. So I want to finish this article. I got to get to bed, friends. So shout out to this driver here. Shout out to Manka Travel. That literally insulted every driver, the 55 cents. And what was their first communication since gas prices were going up? Said Philip Jean, an Uber and Lyft driver in Coopersburg, Pennsylvania. Thank you for speaking up, and thank you for speaking the truth, sir. Because you know, you talk facts, my friends. You tell them straight up. He says that literally insulted. This is his quote, right? This is an Uber and Lyft driver. This is his quote on the money. He says that literally insulted every driver, and that was their first communication since gas prices were going up, said Philip Jean, an Uber and Lyft driver in Coop. You cannot say it better than that. Shout out to him, right? So Jennifer Montgomery, an Uber Eats driver in Las Vegas, where gas costs $5 per gallon, agreed that the gas fee doesn't even put a dent in the cost of fuel, which for her has been at least $30 more each day since the prices began. Each day she's paying $30. If she's working a month, that's $800-900 extra, right? Times 12 months, if it carries on this way, that's $9,000 to $10,000 she's paying extra on gas. It's insane. So she said Miss Montgomery, 40, said she was becoming disillusioned with the job and had begun looking for other work that didn't disillusioned with the job and had begun looking for other work that didn't require her to drive. She has cut her 6-hour daily shifts in half because it's really not profitable anymore, right? I don't want to deliver anymore, she said, especially when you have bills to pay and rising cost of rent and mortgage, groceries, it affects everything. Mr. Jean mostly drives for Uber and Lyft during the winter and spring when his work as a handyman tends to slow down. He said he enjoyed interacting with passengers and usually made $300 to $400 per week, with about $60 of that going to filling the tank. Lately, though, Mr. Jean has been paying twice that amount for gas and has had to cut back elsewhere to compensate, including by reducing his car insurance coverage. I'm driving Uber now, hoping not to get into an accident, because if I do, I'm going to lose my car completely, he said. The gas price woes have actually caused Mr. Jean to drive more in short term because people with cars that get poor gas mileage have told him they have stopped driving. With his hybrid Toyota Prius, he figured he would be able to snap up some of their business and still be able to make some money. But Mr. Jean said he would most likely give up Uber altogether later in the spring when his handyman work picks up again because of the high gas prices. He questioned whether he or other drivers were even profiting from the ride-hailing business at all after all of the costs involved. I think personally, if I sat down and did the numbers, it would be break even, Mr. Jean said. I don't think we're making money on it anymore. I think I'm afraid to admit it to myself. Listen to this. A lot of us have this problem, right? And this is a powerful statement if you can admit this. Philip Jean says, I think I'm afraid to admit to myself because then I would definitely stop doing it. It's a powerful, powerful statement. Keystone says, I deal with it every single day. So gratitude, gratitude, gratitude to the New York Times reporter here. His name is Kellen Brown, and give him a big shout out. He was in our live stream yesterday, and you guys said, Kellen, please run the story. Well, did he deliver? My friends, I'm asking you, did he deliver? Hell yeah, he delivered, right? So this is, again, in the business world, This is what we use as our ammunition, because we hold these articles up to the CEOs because it shames them, it pricks their ego. They hate this type of stuff if they get called out with their pants or their panties down, right? They hate that when they get exposed naked in the media for all this shenanigans and bullshit, right? But we're good at that. We're good at that. We know how to, we know how to drop their boxer shorts. We know how to pull down their G-strings and expose these shenanigators. That's what we did today. So you guys did a phenomenal job. Truly, all the people. And I mean, these guys here and girls are reflective of all the people. I want to end the stream. I've got 133 people in the house. If you would be so kind and get me over the 100 mark so I can get to bed, right? Probably in the last 58 hours, I've had 3 hours of sleep. 3 hours last night. So if you guys, thank you. Thank you, that means a lot. You got me over the 100 mark, 107. Massive gratitude. And I want to say this. Again, don't misquote me, other YouTuber. Quote me on this. I'm perfectly fine if people have to pay their bills or had to pay their bills today and had to go out and work. I understand you. I am with you. We are with you, right? But if you could sacrifice a day, like these guys, we spoke the whole day. None took a trip, right? We were out there in front of the cameras, the media, holding up the signs, holding up the Christina sign. If you guys managed to switch off the apps today, go dark, right? As we say, go dark. Dark apps. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. And this is the beginning. We've definitely made noise. And I think what we've communicated very well, I mean, we had some extravagant ideas today. So Pancho here said, let's all put on sombreros and we get a mariachi band and we walk straight into the Uber headquarters, mariachi playing, and then banners of all the people that lost their lives. And I'm like, dude, if you guys are with me, we get a team, a squad together, and we hit the headquarters, and I will pay for a mariachi band. We'll go in there with our sombreros, and we will make so much fucking noise, even the security will be scared of us, right? So to all of those who went dark today, I salute you. You know, being in the army myself for 3 years, I salute you. I fight with you. You are soldiers. We go to war together, and we took action today. And this was the beginning. Because if they don't listen to us, we've already told these fools, Dara Koshashawi, Logan Green, John Zimmer, Tony Zhu, Chai, all of these guys, if you don't listen to us, we will do it again on Cinco de Mayo. If you don't listen to us on Cinco de Mayo, we will do it on 4th of July. If you don't listen to us, we will do it on Memorial Day. We will do it on Halloween. We will do it on Christmas. We will do it on New Year's Eve, right? We cost them millions of dollars today. And to all of the guys that drove and said, you know, screw the strike, you guys made good money today, thanks to the people that stood for the cause, right? So you owe us some form of gratitude out there, right? And please, I'm going to ask you again, right? If you're starting off a channel, if you have 500 or 800 subscribers, be original, be a fighter, have a cause, and you will get a tremendous amount of subscribers, right? To Harry Campbell, the rideshare guy, my friend, thank you for joining forces with me on the New York Times. For all of the people today who were interviewed by Univision, by ABC, thank you for standing strong. For the posse that stayed right till the end. I invited everyone to In-N-Out Burger. We ate together. We had fries. We had milkshakes. We spoke. We laughed. We shared, right? What rideshare drivers do. And then I said, let's all go over to Starbucks and continue. So we continued our conversations, our stories, our sharing. And we had coffees there, all these fancy smoothie drinks. Right, we really had a tremendous day together. It was filled with a lot of spirit, with a lot of care, right? God bless all of you. Thank you, Omar. Thank you, Southeast LA. And to another little highlight of my day, I went down to Orange County for an interview and a meeting, right? For future business, to go for a meeting, and then also gave an interview down there. And I walk into a Starbucks because I needed my coffee, right? And I wanted to share with you a very cool way, and I knew it's going to be a great day. I walked into two of the South African rugby players from the national squad. Big monsters. And I'm talking like arms, shoulders, necks like this, right? They're both SA rugby players. They were coaching. They came over for an invitational here in LA at the Coliseum. And we hit it off like that because I heard them speak Afrikaans. Hulle het the Dutch, they speak Dutch. Hulle het Afrikaans gepraat en ek het gesê, is julle van die Suid-Afrikaanse Springbok team, right? You're from the Springboks. And they're like, cool, you know us, it's awesome, good. So we chatted, I gave them my business cards. Listen to this, listen to this. You see, this is how we network, my people. This is what I love about this world, that you never know who you're gonna meet in a Starbucks, right? So I told them I have a limousine business. I asked them, have you guys been to LA? They said, no, we're going to LA. And I said, if you're in LA, please allow it to be my treat. I will pick you up with my drivers, with my Cadillacs, and don't care how many people you are. I want to drive you all. There's a Springbok South African bar. After the rugby game, when you guys are done, please be my guests and come over there and let's go and eat together. And they loved it. They said, cool, it's done. And then in return, these rugby players said, and you are going to be our guest at the game on Sunday. We want you there. Do you have kids in that? And I said, I have 3 boys. They would love to see it, right? They said, we'll have tickets for you. So this is how the world works. If you reach out, if you communicate, if you talk, the universe opens up amazing things, my friends. And I want you to all, I'm not a teacher, but I want you to take something away from that story. Always be open to opportunities. Always speak to the neighbor or that person. Reach out to them because maybe somewhere you can help them or form a friendship or a relationship. I formed a lot of friendships today. I met this guy years ago. He was the shyest guy. Nick, the shyest guy I met, right? He got so nervous. And in all the years we have met and communicated, right? He is just he's gone from complete introvert to extrovert. He's out there making videos, stepping into his power, networking. I mean, the transformation is so powerful. It's so amazing, right? And that's who we are, right? As a family, that's who we are. We share, we care, we fight, and we stand for things in my lives, in our lives, not my lives. I'm so fucking tired. So we care, we share, and we stand for things in our lives, right? I needed to correct that. And thank you all. Thank you all for what you did today. I'm off to Club Duvet, which is at the corner of Pillow and Blanket Street, commonly called a king-size bed. Don't know when my wife is going to join me, but I'm going to get into bed now at 9:30. She goes to bed at 10:30. And muchas gracias. Dankeschön. Spasiba. Baie danki. Merci beaucoup. Mille grazie. And whatever other language. Shabona. Hosa. Kujani Wena. I appreciate you all. You rock. 21 Degrassi Street in the house. Mark Barnes in the house. Slickneck says off to bed 11:30. Slickneck, thank you for being there today. Anuj says thank you for your efforts. Thank you, Anuj, for being here. Anuj Corley. Larry Robertson says thank you, everybody, for participating. And let's just say one thank you together. One big thank you all together for the reporters, for the TV people, for the journalists, for the cameramen. That amplified our voices because they truly helped us big time. They put the story, we got the story out there in the thousands, they got the story out there in the millions, right? But it's because of your efforts, they ran with the story. Remember that, right? It's because of what you did today. Those, call it 40, 60,000 people around the globe, is because of what you did today. All of these outlets reported on it, and they reached another 20, 30, 40, 50 million people, right? Because there's a lot of people in the state of Arizona. There's a lot of people in New York or California. So we reached a lot of people globally within the last 72 hours. Never forget that, right? So that is what I call action, right? Not talking about it, but actually doing, right? And if we can have more of that, I think we can win this fight, right? And I think we can get what we deserve. Better gas assistance, more safety, and better pay. Keep on pushing forward, my friends. Be relentless. Perky's in the house. Dylan says peace. Let's put some peace out there in the world, right? We don't need any nuclear bombs. We don't need any nuclear reactors to blow up, right? Let's just exercise some peace and harmony so we can all live side by side and raise our children, right? And when those children have children and you have grandchildren, we can actually carry on with a generation. We don't have to live in these frickin' crazy times. It's insane, right? Big Red Bone in the house. Stanley, Joan, Gypsy Lady, Fee Fi Fo. All right, my friends. So this is the green neon shirt I wore today. As you can see, I still have it on here. Big, loud green shirt here. St. Patrick's Day. At least nobody puked in my car today because I didn't drive. That's a good thing. And everybody, happy St. Patrick's Day. Tomorrow, go out and drink a Guinness. Or tonight, right? Trav and Dust is in the house. Oreski's in the house. Have a beer. Have a glass of wine. And enjoy yourself. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you. Until the next live feed. If we can just light it up, light it up, light it up, light it up. Whatever, with dollar signs, heart signs, boxing signs, I don't care. Let's just light it up. Baie dankie, Manyar. Baie dankie, Ahmed. Boo Boo F is in the house. Slick Nick, later. Gypsy Lady, thank you. Kevin, later. We made a lot of noise in the media, Kevin. Let's just put it that way. Daniel says, I'm making the server. I like it. Angelo Clark, good night. Good night to you. Pazzo, good night. Anuj, good night. Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Be well, be safe, please.